Hello, everybody. We are back with session 3 of the Souls Confidant and Invisible Sun campaign, a game created by Monty Cook Games. I am your game master for tonight, Mayor. As always, when we get started at the beginning of each session, we're going to go around, say who we are playing, their character sentence, and anything you would like to mention that you did during downtime. So, we're going to start with Hamnah.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Hamnah. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer. Today, I will be playing Roshni, who uses they, them pronouns, and they are an itinerant ardent of the Order of Weavers who caught Fire's eye. Downtime. During downtime, Roshni went to visit Loch Ness, who is a maker, makes keys, makes locks, makes lots of different artifacts. Just a chat.
We'll go with Val.
Hi everyone, my name is Valiant, also known as Spirit Bear. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm a TTRPG performer and Twitch streamer. I'm playing Ishmael, who is an iconoclastic empath of the Order of Goetics who calls upon the serpent. Ishmael uses he, they pronouns. Downtime. Ishmael actually spent downtime spending time with Lillian and trying to go over the plethora of information that lay in her house about her parents, and with mixed success, and going through the photo album just to see if there was any clues that they could piece together.
And with that, let's go over to April.
Hi everyone, I'm April. I also play TTRPGs online with friends. I play Lillian Yoon, I switched pages. Why did I switch pages? Hey, the bizarre ardent of the Order of Goetic who splinters into fragments. And yes, I spent my downtime, or Lillian spent her downtime with Ishmael going through the photo album and just trying to figure out what happened.
Still
what
a
is this
mystery.
stuff?
It's
yeah,
fine.
It's fine. It's cool. It's fine. It's cool.
And last but not least, we have C, who will also be doing our character our game last session recap. What are words?
Hi y'all, my name's C. I use they, them pronouns. Tonight I am playing Alecto, who uses they, them, or ray-ram pronouns. They are also known as the Curse Maker, and Alecto is an eremitic stoic apostate who converses with everything. And over their downtime, Alecto did some business. They also smoked some roots, and they did not like what they saw, or they did. It's confusing. But anyway, shall we get into our session recap?
Please.
In character, of course, we're taking cues from Val now. Excuse me. How many times have that many strangers been in my shop at once? The paths we walk, crossing over in moments of, what is this? Revenge. And after the incident at the fridge, we went our separate ways, if only for a moment. Ishmael's friend, Kieran, they're the one who stole the pendant and then stole her work from the gallery. Apparently, they had disappeared sometime after their return from Shadow. Ishmael seems disturbed by the sequence of events, convinced that Kieran is not acting as they should. I, on the other hand, am not so certain. Lillian, poor Lillian, if I was being truthful, I'd say I was worried. It's normal to be disoriented after returning from Shadow, but the Sons know that at least I could remember bits and pieces of who I used to be. Something isn't right. Something about Lillian's parents working with Kieran's father before the war, working on something they shouldn't have, something dangerous. We followed that lead a bit to the home of Lillian's only known relative, a woman by the name of Solara, who works for the Emotion Mills Consortium. She didn't know much about Kieran, despite information Roshni procured during the week. that it was, in fact, the self-same Kieran who was supplying an illegal chain of emotion leaves to the Tryst of the Heart, which has since closed. But apparently, Kieran has done business with Roshni as well. Funny how everything keeps coming back to them through all this. And Eleanor. The lost children have never come to my shop like that. They must trust her, something fierce. It brought a fish with two heads. Something about the Blue Royal. I'm not a gambler myself, but a lead is a lead. And it bothered Roshni, which makes me wonder. Things are not as they should be. I don't know my place in this beyond a sword. But something has been happening. I don't want to say the words. But maybe a deal is in order. Ishmael might know. And I don't think I should smoke that root anymore. I feel untethered. Hope is dangerous. I want him to blot it out. And I should go before anyone else arrives. Before I see anything else I shouldn't.
Thank you. Before we get started, I have two other things. Nightbot already put it in chat, but we have started tipping for this stream. So if you want to help support our lovely, lovely cast for all the hard work that they do, you can donate !tip in chat, where at $80, the whole group will get a collective group hidden knowledge that they can use at any point they want. At $160, a minor flux, which is a magical disturbance, will happen to a random character. And if we hit our full goal, if we hit our full goal, we'll get a nice juicy lore drop. And I'll tell you right now, the first one is delicious. Also, this game, please note, Invisible Sun was made and designed for mature audiences. Sex, drugs, crimes, violence, body horror, classism, and some degree of BDSM aesthetics are present in the core rules of the game, though might not be utilized in our game. Safety tools are being used on and off screen for the entire cast, but if you're uncomfortable, please step away. Your safety is much more important than our views. Specific content warnings for the Soul's Confidant include violence, depression, strained or complicated relationships, and self-destructive behavior. So, with the first, on the first sun, the Silver Sun, we have our first card pull. We have the Misunderstood Beast. Value, 0. Notions, cats, clocks, and wind. Meanings, mistakes, gentleness, friendship, danger, and betrayal. The Misunderstood Beast is a gentle giant, not a murderous monster. It seeks our friendship, not our flesh. Can we see past its physical nature and ascertain its truth? Will we even try? Snap judgments result in horrific mistakes. We judge something by its appearance, or simply by the initial reaction it churns in our heart. But the real truth of a thing can rarely be ascertained so quickly. This misstep can catch us from either direction. We might judge something ugly as evil when it is not, or we might assume something or someone pleasant is a friend when they are not. Either way, we are harmed, or at least lessened as a result. We begin this game at Ishmael's house. Val, would you like to describe your house, please, for everybody?
Absolutely. Ishmael's house, the outside, is usually in the form of a golden coiled snake resting peacefully. Today, that is not so. Today, the golden coil's head is opened, maw showing fangs bared. The coil behind the snake tighten, ready to strike. Inside, the usually beautiful halls of black and gold minimalist design is now marred with shadow and wisps of fog. And inside the ostentatious bedroom that has a beautiful ornate reading nook by side of one of the walls sets a beautiful black sheet with golden accents bedroom, and Ishmael awakes. His hair falling past his face pushes it back. He breathes a sigh. As he looks around the room, shadows and fog coalesce around the walls. Fine, have it your way. And grumpily steps up. You see, currently shirtless, you see the two snakes, Vasuki and Shesha, winding up his torso around his chest, both mirroring around his shoulder as if dangling like curtains across his shoulder. As he quickly puts on a black and gold robe, there's a theme, and sits by his kitchen, pours himself a cup of hot tea.
Everyone is set to meet at your house today to reconvene after doing some research and looking around to continue to find clues about either Kieran's whereabouts or more information about the art piece and its creator, Anya Prose. When much earlier than the designated meeting time, you hear... What do they hear?
I think
I was talking to C.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I mean, if there's a doorbell and it makes a noise, then somebody outside might have hit the doorbell. But if there's not, just 3 loud knocks that come from a powerful arm.
I like the ladder, the sound of the ladder, so yes. Ishmael kind of like turns. It's just like still clad in the robe, and just kind of like readjusts it, ties the robe, and walks past. And you see Shesha, the white snake, kind of almost look like it is tickling Ishmael's ear, and he just goes, "I know, I didn't think it'd be this early." This goes, opens the door. Seems he's Alecto.
Yeah, it's maybe like you like look and then you gotta look up, you know? And I think Alecto is, if like the house is like the snake with its jaws open, they're kind of like looking up and like almost reaching, like they're gonna touch one of the fangs, and I think like immediately bring their hand back down as soon as you open the door. Good morning, Ishmael. I think I'm a little early.
Ishmael looks down at his robes. I would hazard to agree with you, but careful those fangs. They're actually quite sharp. And then kind of steps aside to allow Alecto to go first.
Thank you. What a pleasant home. Nice fog.
Not typically.
And Alecto steps through.
Not closes the door behind him, and he goes, "Not typically a feature. No, hopefully be gone by the end of the day." And Ishmael kind of takes the lead and ushers you towards the kitchen, where there's a cozy little, like I think about 4-seater dining table, and this really cozy kitchen with an array of coffee and tea accoutrement that he immediately like leans over almost like a kitchen island counter and like looks at you and goes, "Can I offer you anything this morning, Alecto? Cup of tea? Perhaps coffee?"
What are you drinking?
He's just like, ordinary breakfast tea.
I'll have one of those then.
Sometimes we need to stir ourselves awake. And begins pouring a glass of hot tea and hands it over to Alecto as he kind of gestures to one of the chairs and goes and sits leaning against one of the chairs that leans over to the window that overlooks Yasser's house.
I think Alecto follows Ishmael's gaze for like out the window for a moment, before they kind of follow suit. And again, they're like a little too, it's like in their shop, they look kind of normal because it's built for them. And in every other home, it's like they're a little hunched. And they sit across from you. And they tip back their mask again, kind of like pushing it like up against their hair, which falls in these like sad strangles around their face. And one brown eye, one blue eye, like fixed on you kind of intently, like for the morning. Like they're just, again, like looking through you. I came early on purpose. Ishmael, I have something I'd like to talk to you about.
Ishmael seems to finish the end of his drink and goes, I was afraid that was the reason, but I'm not entirely surprised.
You manage right about you understand deals, no?
I do. It's the part and parcel of goetic work, yes.
Deals with demons, angels, ghosts.
And any other sort of entities, yes.
I'd like to make a deal with you, Ishmael.
Ishmael leans back, pushes hair against behind his ear, and you see Vasuki and Sheisha both come up towards the neck. Oh.
I realize I was a little hostile about your friend, Kieran. I don't wish to be. And I think that you might be able to help me with. And their face kind of, it's strange to watch their face go soft. Like that there's like an expression that is not totally this like stone guardedness that like flits over it and then is immediately brought back. I've been having some problems of my own. And I think that you specifically might be able to help me. Here's what I can offer you. My blade at your service, but only as you see fit. When finding Kieran, I will do what I need to do to protect myself. But I will defer to you.
You see Ishmael kind of like just brush against his own beard, twirling his mustache, thinking as he's pays a very close eye on you and leans forward. An interesting proposition, honored Cursemaker. For what service would you require me? I do not enter deals without understanding the other side, you see.
I would not expect such a thing from you, which is why I'm here. And you must understand, too, that my blade is not a trifle. This deal has weight.
As all deals do.
How do you bring someone back from the dead?
I'm looking at DM. Mel does not know.
There are multiple ways to bring someone back from the dead. Most of them involve very elaborate rituals, usually where you need to find a very specific set of items. Also, instructions called monographs. It's usually an involved process and you need to find stuff first, but it's not impossible. Some other options are actually going to the realm of the Pale Sun and bringing them back, but that's not as desirable because they come back as the dead with decaying skin and all that fun stuff. And it's also kind of hard to take people away from the Pale Sun because Her Elegance, the warden, has an iron grip on her domain. You also kind of need to travel in Lisa to go to the gray sun, the pale sun. It's a little different than the other suns.
Interesting. And the initial method, the first method, not common, I don't think.
It's not uncommon, but you just gotta find everything. That's the problem.
And the instructions written by the deceased, or is that like something else?
I do actually there are spells and rituals written down. I don't know the names of them off the top of my head, but they exist in canon of the game.
Okay.
Yes.
You see kind of Ishmael raise it, like kind of just go, well, main two options is a treasure hunt, essentially, or going into the pale sun itself. How keen are you on this venture?
And Alecto's brow kind of knits. I would not exactly say that I'm keen, Ishmael. But something odd is happening around me. And I need to know about spirits, about how to bring someone back, about how to see if they're actually gone.
Are you actually, this is a mere clarification question. Are you asking specifically to bring back from the dead or to speak with them?
Either or.
Ishmael, you would also know just flat out from being a goetic, you can summon specific entities, spirit, demon, angel, if you know their true name.
Ishmael, I think after hearing Alecto kind of like explain that and goes, hold on. It feels, and correct me if I'm wrong, you are looking more to converse with them to gain answers.
Sure. Let's call it that.
Well, it would certainly be a lot easier in terms of what needs to be done.
And if I was able to go on this scavenger hunt, get you what you need, would you perform the ritual for me?
I was going to clarify another thing. Would you prefer to do a scavenger hunt, or would you prefer that I just attempt to call upon this spirit if you know their true name?
I don't think I do know this is out of character. I don't think I do know their true name, do I?
It is extremely unlikely that you would know their true name. Knowing someone's true name gives you power over them, and vice versa. It is extremely rare, even for people that are together in a partnership for decades, that would share each other's true name with each other. You would have to be foolish or arrogant to gamble your true name away.
You say that like it's so easy.
I don't know the nature of this entity that you wish to call upon, so got to cover all possibilities. That's how true contracts are supposed to work.
You are very thorough. I don't have what I need. But when I do, will you do this for me? Our exchange.
Do you have your blade on you?
Oh yeah, always strapped to their back.
All right. Ishmael's eyes linger over the blade and back onto Alecto. So as I see the offer lay before me, you see him kind of stand up, move towards the dining area, pull out a journal that you are very familiar with because it is the one that he had carried with him, always carries with him. And he goes down, sits down, pushes his hair back. It's like, so, our contract, as you would say. Your blade. under my discretion, is particularly when it comes to Kieran. I would not deny you your right for self-defense, but particularly in Kieran. And I help you do this ritual. Any
Yes.
transgression against Kieran, against my wishes, as per this contract, will remove the opportunity of ritual from you. You understand this?
I understand. Curses are their own kind of deals, Ishmael. I have not really been able to make my own, but I understand how they work.
Tempting. And you see Ishmael immediately close the journal and look at you and say, contracts are fine, but I do what I would prefer as your friendship. I understand your power. I understand your skill. I do not doubt your instincts. I will happily do this ritual for you as a friend. And as friends do, I'd hope that you would think of me kindly before handing down righteous justice.
And Alecto, I think, leans over the table, puts a hand on their knuckles. Their eyes linger kind of on the book and then back up to Ishmael. They tilt their head again. That same bird-like tip. I haven't had friends in a very, very long time, Ishmael. But if that is your desire, then who am I to deny what might be a very profitable friendship?
Indeed, Alecto. I mean, you've already shared me your name. We've already introduced ourselves to each other. I think we're well on our way.
You haven't introduced me to your friends yet.
Oh.
And Alecto traces on their body wherever the snakes are, I think.
Oh, they're kind of lingering around the neck, and you see him nod. Ah, yes, my companions. And you see him kind of push the robe down to reveal more of the snakes as they coalesce. And he'll say, this black one is Vasuki. And then pulls up the collar and pulls down the other. The white is Shesha.
Pleasure to meet you. But Alecto says, looking into Ishmael's eyes.
And you see Ishmael kind of get up and hold up his cup. It's like, a refill, perhaps toast of friendship.
I don't like to have more than one cup of tea. It gets me amped. But you know what? To friendship.
To friendship, indeed. And he'll pick up the mug and pour them each another glass of tea and give it back and hold it up.
Not like to. Cheers.
The two of you drink and have breakfast in silence to whatever degree you are comfortable with until the rest of the party arrives. Eleanor will not be able to make it today. She is busy, but I have a feeling is Roshni going to be late again? Is Lillian on time? What is going on today for the rest
Lillian is
part?
always a few minutes early.
Beautiful.
I think, uncharacteristically for once in their goddamn life, Roshni's actually on time.
Damn.
Roshni
Damn.
felt the hot tension. Is like, wait, I'm not in this.
It's like I need to be there. Hold on.
I really randomly feel like waking up early today. I don't know.
I didn't have business to conduct. No.
Yeah. In that case, you arrive more or less within a couple minutes of each other, Roshni and Lillian. Alecto's there before you.
You'll hear a very light, timid knock from a very weak arm.
I think Ishmael is like hasn't gotten the chance to like get dressed because kind of liked vibing with Alecto for a little bit and then lost track of time. And then was just like, oh God, Alecto, would you go ahead and open the door? It should be fine. Just be careful with the fang, and tell them to be careful with the fang. And then kind of hurries off to the bedroom, closes the door, and you can hear the scuffling of like man looking for clothing.
And must look pristine.
Mm-hmm. And Alecto kind of snorts as Ishmael goes off and is like, "Yeah, sure. Wouldn't want anyone else to think you're in the bedroom." Anyway, and gets up, and I think perhaps to Lillian's surprise, it is again like a here and then a here moment, right? That it's Alecto on the other side of Ishmael's door.
How early are we meeting? We're meeting early in the day, right?
You tell me. But I'm assuming
I think
yes.
Ishmael.
Yeah,
Ishmael would want to be early.
Really early. So Lillian would have stopped somewhere for like a baked pastry good.
Oh.
Like donuts or something, because it's like first thing in the morning. So you hear the knock. Hello, the curse maker. Hello.
Hello, Lillian. What's the password?
I brought donuts.
That'll do. And Alecto steps out of the way.
It's so lovely to see you here. I didn't expect you to be here so early.
I'm prompt. Remember, I'm always the first one at my shop.
You are very funny, very funny. Would you like one? She opens the box and offers you baked goods.
And Alecto kind of looks down at it and then looks at Lillian again. What is up with you people trying to feed me sweet things? Fine. Just
do you not want one? As she goes like this, slowly pretends to close the box.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I'll have one if you insist.
Yes, I very much insist.
Kitchen is that way.
She goes about and starts like setting up the donuts
and maybe Alecto kind of stands with the door open, having maybe spotted Roshni coming down the street.
Yeah, I think like Roshni's not far behind Lillian at this point, so I think they would have like seen Lillian up ahead and tried to like quicken their pace to try and catch up at this point. And when Roshni finally makes it up to the door, I think you can see, like as usual, you know, their satchel strapped to their side, the same sort of like little book poking out with the blue bookmark. And also today, you see on their other side a dagger sheathed to their hip.
Is it the same one?
It looks a lot like it.
You know, little rabbit, that spell is not supposed to last a week.
Oh, this? No. And Roshni like unsheaths it, pulls it out, and it is in fact a diamond-studded dagger, very eerily similar to the one that you had made. No, this I bought. Would you like one too?
I didn't think you the sentimental type, Roshni, nor did I think you the kind to give gifts.
I told you, I'm very generous when it comes to my friends, and they kind of go into their satchel, pull out a matching dagger. For you.
And I think Alecto's has had their mask off for tea, and their eyes do kind of raise a little, and then quirk and smirk. I am going to regret this, I think. And they take the dagger.
Well, You can have it on one condition as they like pull it back as Alecto goes to pull it or to take it.
Ah, there it is. Go on.
You gave me a temporary gift and I'm giving you something permanent. Just promise me I get something back in return.
I don't make promises I can't keep.
Then don't break this one.
And Alecto reaches around Roshni's hand and like wraps their hand around Roshni's and takes the dagger.
I think when your hand touches theirs, you can feel, because I think this is actually the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that the Curse Maker has touched Roshni. And you can feel that like their hand is much hotter than the average person's hand. I don't know how long it's been since you felt something this hot. And as you go to touch them, you can feel the temperature like rise really quickly and then like settle back down just as you pull away.
And the Curse Maker smiles just a little. Kitchen's down the hall, love.
I don't think we know each other like that yet, Curse Maker. And then
I
they
apologize,
walk
little
past.
rabbit, then.
They just walk past Curse Maker down the hall to the kitchen.
And Alecto looks, kind of looks out the door before closing it and following suit.
How long does it take you to get ready, Val? Or Ishmael to get ready?
Ishmael's-
Knowing that there is company in the house.
Knowing that there's company in the house, Ishmael kind of gets ready pretty quickly and forgoes the usual golden sash that he usually wears and instead is going off for that kind of like the art in the stream, the kind of sleeveless kurta look. And kind of steps forward and just goes, pardon my rudeness, my friends. I have gotten turned around quite a bit this morning. Please help yourselves to tea. Sees Lillian brought donuts.
Yes,
Donuts.
Do you not like them?
I love them, and you're just so incredibly sweet. Thank you.
I'm glad. And thank you.
Please. And we'll begin like serving everyone, playing host. And kind of like gesturing to the remaining seats for anyone to take them as he prepares all of the drinks.
I think it's pretty obvious, considering that Alecto sits down in front of like a teacup that's already empty, that they have been here for at least a cup of tea earlier.
Yeah, I think Roshni doesn't take one of the actual chairs. They just kind of sit up on like the kitchen island, I think, and they're like swinging their legs as they kind of cock their head and look at the empty teacup and then look up at Curse Maker and like raise an eyebrow.
Alecto just raises an eyebrow right back and sips their own tea.
I see you had company last night, Ishmael.
Oh, not at all. As he's kind of like pouring the tea, because kind of half like absent-mindedly saying that, and then looks up and goes, "Oh no, Alecto arrived. Cursemaker arrived earlier." And
wait,
then
hold on? Do you
No.
make that mistake in character? No. Okay.
Ishmael wouldn't. That's Val making the mistake. Ishmael wouldn't. And kind of like hands you a cup while you're sitting on the counter. Like, Cursemaker arrived earlier this morning.
I see. And they take the cup, and you can see that as much as it was steaming before, it starts to steam even more in their hands.
Ishmael nods and goes, "I can make it a tad hotter for you if you'd like."
Don't worry, darling. I can do it myself.
All right. Hands you another cup as well, Lillian, and goes and leans against the same counter that Roshni is swinging their legs from. Goes, "Well, any progress?" Before Lillian and I spent some time over the past week seeing if there's any other leads we could uncover through Lillian's parents. But before we get to that, did anyone else find anything interesting? Any whispers? Kind of looks towards Roshni when he says whispers.
No, unfortunately, the channels that I've been down have hit a bit of a snag in this regard. I haven't learned anything new that would help us.
Well, that is unfortunate. All right.
I didn't find anything particular in the junkyard when I went this week, and my contacts have been more than unhelpful answering any questions directly.
You see, Ishmael immediately look to Lillian and go, "Now I feel really bad about how much progress we've made. It's not."
As long as progress was made, it doesn't really matter who made the progress. It's
No, but
just good for the group as long as progress is made.
It's more of, I wish we had more to tell other than what we know.
And what
Yes,
do you
but
know?
there has been progress, so that is good.
Lillian, are you hiding something from us?
Oh, absolutely not at all. It's just the connections with Kieran and my family were much deeper than we expected, and I fear that I have more questions than I have answers now. But
Well, what connections did you find?
well, Kieran was like family to me, apparently. We have she actually opens her bag and pulls out the photo album she brought with her, and shows, as you can see, I have apparently known Kieran since I was a small child, and they have had influence in my life.
The photo album that Lillian pulls out is more or less a family photo album with Lillian and her parents. Occasionally you see a younger Solara from before the war. She did not have the scar before the war, as well sometimes pushing Lillian on a swing or, doing like a seesaw along the lines. And occasionally the same is with Kieran in some of these photos. And under each photo, they are labeled with everyone's name. Under Solara, whenever they're with Lillian, it says Aunt Solara. And whenever it is Kieran and Lillian, it is Teman Kieran, which is a very close family friend. And in some of the photos, I don't know if you point this out, Ishmael or Lillian, Winifred, Lillian's mom, along with Kieran, are both wearing hand armor. Everything is in black and white, though, so you can't tell what kind of gems they hold.
I think that Alecto might pause and kind of put their finger on a page to keep Lillian from turning. And they maybe try to slide the album a little bit closer to themselves to inspect the armor a little bit closer. If it is at all familiar or looks like I would know who made it, being a former maker myself.
The one on Winifred's hand, there are some of the embellishments and how the metal is formed and moved matches exactly the one that was on display at the fridge.
I recognize that piece. It's make. That one. The one your mom is wearing, Lillian.
What piece is it?
It is very similar, if not the same, as the item that Kieran stole from the art opening.
Roshni, are you looking at these photos as well?
Yeah.
The one that Kieran is wearing has embellishments exactly the same as...
Yes, I see where you're going with this.
Yes.
I think at that, Roshni kind of looks up at Ishmael in particular, and points
You see
at...
Ishmael is nodding, and then at like Alecto's observations. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's all good. And then like points at Kieran's hand specifically. Ishmael, did you ever see Kieran wearing that before?
Never.
No. When was this photo taken, Lillian?
Is there a date?
No, but in this photo, you are there and you are young, like a child.
I am about. I'm very. I don't exactly know the age, but very young in this photo. So many years ago.
Well, if Anya, was it? Was that the name of the maker who... at the fridge? And like looking around at the group.
Alecto's face does something when you say that. Like you just like punch them or like you stab them. They like wince, and their eyes like flutter a moment, and they kind of like look really sternly into their teacup and away from everything else.
I'm sorry, did I get it wrong?
No. Anya
Okay.
Pros made those pieces.
Right. Do you know this, Anya?
What maker doesn't?
I suppose I'm not familiar with the inner workings of the makers.
Ishmael would want to read Alecto's body language about that.
I'll let you figure out how you want to do this, y'all. This game is not normally made for PvP. Or I can
PvP.
Or I can pull a card.
Yeah,
Pull the
that'd be fine.
card.
Okay,
Pull
cool.
the card.
I already looked at
Pull
this
a card.
and I already have a vague idea because this card usually spells not good.
Oh, great.
On the
Not
green,
good for whom in this scenario?
On the green sun, I have the Weeping Priest. Value 5, Secrets, Raven, Books, and Flame. Meanings, betrayal, weakness, turnabout, disillusionment, lost. I am going to say Alecto shows a moment of weakness here. Because it's more interesting.
Thank you, Mer. Thank you so much.
Sorry, C, but not really.
I've never loved you more than in this one moment.
Fuck. I think it's really easy to read Alecto's body language, because one of their eyes starts crying. The blue one, just like tears, like they're not reacting to it, almost like they don't even know it's happening. But one of them starts crying, and like I think they only notice after like a tear like hits the desk or the table.
You hear, as Ishmael notices that, Ishmael immediately makes a loud sound to clear his throat so that everyone looks at him and goes, and as he does that, looks at Alecto.
And Alecto's gaze kind of like snaps up, like the attention turns, and they just kind of wipe their eye.
So we have I don't mean to ask more questions about this if it's already been said before, Cursemaker, but is armor like this? I mean, you said that particular piece is one made by Anya, but the format of the armor, is that common? Is that just a sort of schematic that makers are familiar with or something?
GM, how would I answer that question?
If it's made by a maker, it is likely, especially if it's magical, the likelihood of it being a copy of something is highly unlikely. Makers are proud of their work, and unless it's like a kindled item, like a mass-produced things, which makers are capable of making, it's probably a one-of-a-kind item, unless made with a set, which it looks like it was.
With all this talking about the hand armor, I would have pulled out the picture I took of the hand armor from the exhibit to match them up to see if it was the exact same one.
The one on your mother's hand is.
Sorry, that was all April. So what you're saying is that it was my mother's. That was my mother's that was stolen.
It seems to have been made for her. Anyone can make a trinket, weave threads together, a bracelet, but this is a one-of-a-kind piece. It has magic in it. It has deep magic in it.
I did some research about the hand armor before I knew this. The only information I could find was that it was created before the war, before Anya disappeared.
Died. She died.
And she died.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
she's dead.
She was, yeah. Before she died, she created them, and it was donated by Elias. Does that name, do any of you know them well?
Never heard the
No.
name before. But why would someone other than your mother have this armor unless it was...
Unless they took it once we all disappeared.
Who is they?
It's someone had to have taken it.
A common question I keep asking myself, to be honest.
I suppose a magical item couldn't travel with you to Shadow, so it's very possible that maybe the Hindasa is responsible for taking your artifacts.
the
And I
who?
think you can see like Roshni's like head is like turning gears at this point.
Yes, and you said that the
The who
The
could have been
design?
responsible?
The Hindasa, they are the ones, surely you must have met one of their agents. They're the ones that bring us back from Shadow. They send their agents from here to there to find us, to find the Visle and remind us, I guess, of the life that we had once, the powers that we have, and they bring us back.
Question for Merritt. Did I have one of these?
Like, yes, unless it's
Okay.
specifically, unless you specifically don't want to, or you talked with me earlier.
Okay,
We're going
I
to,
was just
under the
asking.
assumption that someone a Hindasa agent pulled you out of Shadow.
and you recognized the design on Kiran's hand armor, yes?
Yes. I think I've seen it before. And I have a feeling that that armor is still in that person's possession.
Although if it goes the way that the art gallery went, perhaps it won't be for much longer.
Perhaps that's for the best.
And whose hand is it on now?
I don't think that's important. I think what's important is finding Kiran with the one that they have. The one that belongs to your mother, Lillian.
But how would someone have gotten Kieran's if they didn't give it to them? They could have known who took my mother's as well.
You see Ishmael kind of, because he is situated near Roshni, and kind of leans his hip against the counter, and goes, I understand if this potentially might be a touchy subject, my dear, but I know that it might be easier for us to find Kiran, but we have no immediate leads, unfortunately, other than the Emotional Leaves Consortium, which may not turn up anything. The Blue Royal location, which you do not wish to go. And this person.
I think you see Roshni like sigh and like close their eyes, like trying to compose themselves for a second. I suppose I can convince you to let me talk to a Hindasa agent. I know one very well who might be able to tell us what the chain of command is for the protocol for magical items. I don't suppose you would let me do that first before we decide to go there.
Regardless of the direction, I just wanted you to know in his eyes, he's being as soft as he could possibly be right now in this moment. Knowing how things have been going thus far, the options will close up on us. So if not now, it will happen later. 'Tis all I wish you to know. And you do not have to come with us when we go to the Blue Royal, but I'm just letting you know that it is on my mind.
If you go, it'll be easier if I come with you, I'm afraid. All right, darling. But know that this favor is not one I am doing out of the goodness of my heart, Ishmael. I will collect later.
I will look forward to it. And there's a little smirk that comes at the end of his mouth through the long hair, and he kind of just whips it back. Okay. How do we feel? Up for gambling?
At noon? Please.
Better time.
Lillian, perhaps it's you with the sense of humor.
I personally would prefer if we took an hour or so and reconvened.
Should we just meet there then?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be best.
Certainly.
Okay. So we are going to reconvene at the Royal in 1 hour. Is there anything anyone would like to do in that hour?
Yeah. I'm gonna cry. Okay, so no, not actually. Okay,
Roshni don't give a shit.
No.
Hamnah
Okay,
might
Roshni.
cry.
Yeah. Roshni is going to go to the house without a key, to Eleanor's house. They know that Eleanor is busy today, not going to be at home, but it's the house without a key. It's never locked, it's always open, it's a boarding house. So they are going to go to Eleanor's house and just walk right in and make their way over to Eleanor's storage room, making room, workshop, whatever it is that they have.
Yep. It is
Okay.
easy enough. No one stops you. The groaning of the house does seem loud in your ears, though, like it's keeping an eye on you.
That's okay. They're gonna go in, and then as soon as they're inside of Eleanor's workshop, they're going to look for Eleanor's supplies, the things that they use to make their items. And they're looking for one thing in particular. They're looking for an emotion leaf.
Yep.
Specifically one for apathy.
It is easy enough. You have been working with Eleanor to get emotion leaves at a discounted price for some time. She does have a connection with the Emotion Mills Consortium in the Strange Glass District for making supplies. So you know where they are, you know where she keeps them.
Yes, so they go in, and they're gonna take the emotion leaf. They're gonna quickly scribble a note that says something along the lines of like, had to take this, it was an emergency, paid you double for your troubles, don't be mad. And then like signed it. And then they're gonna leave 40 crystal for Eleanor for your troubles. Love you, Eleanor. And then they're gonna take the leaf, they're gonna take the book out of their satchel, the little one, open it to a very specific page, put the leaf inside of it, and then like move the bookmark to that page. And as they do so, the bookmark starts to change color, and it is now rainbow dyed. So it's got like a rainbow of colors along it.
Yeah, you would know that if you touched this emotion leaf with your hand, it would immediately be absorbed. So you're probably using it with like gloves or tongs or something along those lines to get it in the book to start with. So, but yeah, easy enough. Eleanor has been paid for her trouble as you purchase from her, I guess.
At double the price, okay?
At double
Roshni's
the
being
price.
very generous.
Yep. Walk into her private workroom, break her trust. Sure, it's great.
It's an emergency. It's fine.
It's for a good cause, and that good cause is Roshni.
But that is about it. I do actually have a question for you, Mayor.
Yeah,
This is a mechanical question.
sure.
So I have an ephemera. Ephemera?
Yes.
Ephemera. That's a spell called Bottled Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that until the sun sets, everyone you meet recognizes you and knows your name as if you were extraordinarily famous.
Yes.
Does that guarantee positive recognition, or?
Oh, is that the exact wording?
It is the exact wording.
Say it one more time.
Until the sun sets, everyone you meet recognizes you and knows your name as if you were extraordinarily famous.
I'm gonna say no, and I will leave it up to the cards.
Okay, just for sheer posterity, I'm going to use this ephemera.
Okay.
It's a clear potion that Roshni is going to down like a shot, just straight one go. It's a level 4 spell, gray specifically, if that matters.
Yeah. In that case, I am going to pull the next card, which is the Alchemist. Value 8, Secrets, Ravens, Books, and Flames, meaning it's complexity, transformation, and knowledge. But this is the Adept card, meaning I need to pull another card. Oh, shit. I'm dropping stuff. So, according to this card, it suggests that there's far more to a situation than previously understood. Let's pull the next one. Of course, the card I pull is at the very end of the alphabet.
Please be nice to me.
I have pulled on the Indigo Sun, the Watcher. There's value 9, Mysteries, Rats, Mirror, Stone, Parental Figure, Sight, Alertness, Observation, and Knowledge. I will say that it is going to be positive for the most part. Unless
Okay.
something says otherwise.
Okay, I don't like the way you said that, but I'll take it.
Perfect. Is there anything else people would like to do in the 1 hour before you meet at the Royal?
I think it would be very funny, if you're okay with this, Hamnah, if Alecto was bringing back the dishes that Eleanor had given them, like the cleaned dishes afterward, like on the porch at the same moment maybe that you're coming out.
Yeah, that's fine. That works.
This happens.
How is Roshni different, if at all?
Roshni is different. So the way that you see them is like normally they're like a flurry of like action and they like can't quite sit still and like they're always just saying things and doing things and it's just a lot. And I think for once you see Roshni as like calm almost. Like you see them and they're just a flat line. And they don't really have the same look in their eyes that they used to. Like their eyes, which are these amber scleras, no pupils, no irises, and are normally just like flashing with fire, are kind of like simmering as if you had just poured water over a fire and there's just the burning embers of the coals left. That's sort of the energy that you get from Roshni.
Uh-huh. I think Alecto is kind of startled as the door opens. They have their mask on again. These like stacks of like probably like 6 plates in their hand, right? And then like after Roshni,
Cursemaker.
who dulled your fire?
Who says anyone did?
And you know, the mask again kind of tips. And Alecto, again in this like very quiet, like specific way, puts the plates down and thanks them quietly. and then thanks the house. And then looks back at Roshni.
As you thank the house, you hear very faintly, just to your ears, the sound of a music box in tune to a heartbeat before it fades away. Not related to that, a different tune.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, that's fine. Alecto, I think, turns their head like they heard someone call their name, even though there's no sound. And then they pause and turn back. Shall I walk you to the Blue Royal, little rabbit? You look like you might get lost if you went by yourself.
I know my way to the Blue Royal pretty well, actually, but I suppose if you don't have anywhere else to go, we could go together.
Let's go then.
After you, Owl.
But there's a little bit of... It's not as fun when the energy is not there. And there's just like the tiniest bit of worry as Alecto looks over their shoulder. And they walk, I think, in silence for the most part.
Lillian and Ishmael. Anything?
I think Ishmael would kind of like, once everyone's kind of like set off and the Lillian is still in the house, kind of just like, how are you doing? Really?
Better than before. Honestly, I don't know most days. But having this to focus on and having this to work on and having us all together makes it much easier.
My promise has not waned. No matter what comes.
Thank you.
I'm still a constant. Good.
We will do this together. And I will help you any way I can. We will save your friend.
Thank you. I just want them back to me.
I understand.
And kind of sees if there's like a last pastry that's left, picks it up, breaks it in half, hands you one half as he kind of like leans forward sitting and takes a bite for that last hour before we head off to the Blue Royal together.
I know it's a little early, but we're going to take our break now and we'll reconvene in 5 to 10 minutes, everyone. All right, we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Please sit up, stretch, hydrate, pet your pets, and we'll be back soon. Bye! Hello, everybody. We are back from break. I hope you are hydrated and you snuggled your pets. I should have pet my cats before I came back. It is fine. Before we head off, like right in front of the Blue Royal where we left everyone, though, I've pulled the next card. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the card I pulled was the Revealing Knife. Value of 8, Vision, Swans, Blades, and Water. Meanings, Revelation, Discovery, and Finesse. Ishmael and Lillian, as you are heading towards the... Are you doing anything specific as you begin to head towards the Blue Royal?
I think Ishmael would just talk about like gambling etiquette, just in case Lillian didn't know.
Lillian does not know any of that. So Lillian's like, so what do they play there?
There are all sorts of gambling games. How about you just stick by me for the most part?
That's
Yeah,
probably smarter.
maybe convince me that I'm betting too many crystals today. Usually Kieran tells me to do that, but
I'll make sure you don't leave without your shirt or anything like that.
How much money have you lost at the Blue Royal?
in each time or
Overall. Net gain or net loss?
I think it really depends on the day and whether or not he went with Kieran. If he went with Kieran, there's a net gain. If he goes alone's a net loss.
Okay. In that case, as the two of you, as Ishmael teaches you about gambling etiquette, and you're having this conversation. The two of you do see a flock of keys flying by with just feathered wings. But one of them seems to have a broken wing fluttering close and falling. Lillian, I'd like you to take a despair, please. And I would like you
Why? I didn't do it.
roll a dodge defense roll.
Huh?
What?
What is happening? Are you getting attacked by a key?
What?
Why did you have to break into the house with no keys? Now the keys are coming after us. Okay, so
I don't know why it's
roll-
going
what
after
is-
you.
How do I roll dodge? What is my
So
dodge?
you have a +1 to dodge from your forte.
You're right, I do.
And that's the reason why I am doing this.
So do I just roll 2d10?
So you have 1d10, unless you decide
1d10, yeah.
So you
No.
can add your +1 from your dodge, from your forte, and movement if you would like to as well, and add an extra benefit.
4.
Total?
Yeah.
Would you like to describe what happens as you try to dodge out of the way as your forte activates?
Oh, shit.
What?
Shit. Okay. I didn't realize that was gonna. You're right. Okay.
That is the reason for the despair.
Oh fuck. Okay. So what Ishmael would see is Lillian kind of confused, and for a minute,
As this
kind of go.
the key flying at you right towards your face. But you succeed in dodging.
I succeed in dodging,
Yes, but it still activates.
and she doesn't. She goes to block with her hands for it before it hits, and what you see is the second it touches her, the point of impact, her hands shatter, and she just starts screaming, and it just goes through her both hands, through the back of her throat, and out the other side without ever actually making contact, and she's just literally falls to pieces. And there is this now hole much larger than it needs to be, missing from her, like pretty much through the full center of her hands, through her neck. And she just falls to the ground and is, it's okay. It's okay. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. It's okay. Staring at the broken glass on the ground now, as the pieces of glass are starting to reform as it slowly kind of drifts up from the ground, as you see her hands and her neck, and the hole is healing, and she's just, it's not real. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. This isn't 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 real.
Ishmael can intervene for sure, and kind of like immediately slides onto the floor and kind of sits by Ishmael and goes, Lillian, and goes, hey, it's all right. It's all right. I'm here. You're okay. Kind of like takes a look around your hands and see the glass and everything. Goes, are you okay? Are you hurt?
I'm okay. I'm okay. It's not. They keep saying it's not supposed to hurt, but it hurts, and they keep saying it's not supposed to, and it's supposed to be normal.
That's okay. That's okay. It hurts now?
As you now see, it's actually reformed completely, and as normal, you see the cracks, but they're more than traditional. It's fine. It's fine.
Look at me. And you see like Ishmael's gray eyes looking at you. And the two snakes have come up towards the neck. He goes, it's okay. Just focus on me.
It's okay. It's
What
okay.
you can see. What do you hear?
I hear your voice. I hear the birds, the nature.
do you
Everything's
smell?
fine. It's not a very clean alley, very close by.
We've been trying to work on that,
Yes.
yes.
Everything's okay.
You're here.
I'm here.
You're with me.
Yes. I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm so
No,
sorry. I'm so sorry.
Don't, please. Don't apologize for something like that. I'm just worried about you. And has the key fallen behind
Yeah.
Lillian?
Yeah, it looks like it's behind and just kind of half fluttering on the ground with only one working wing.
It's just not your fault. It's just an accident. I'm just glad that you're okay.
Thank you. At that, Lillian looks behind her and sees the key, and it was an accident. It didn't mean to. It's also hurt. It's also hurt.
Do we know what this is?
Yeah, do we know what these keys are?
Yeah.
That's nothing specific, just a Visley, a Saturnine oddity.
Okay, cool. Just
But like a
needed to double
normal
check.
oddity. It's not like
Yeah.
Like pigeons. Like if we saw pigeons
exactly.
fluttering around. Is there a key bird vet nearby?
It's not actually alive. It's not
Okay,
an actual
cool.
creature.
Ishmael will go and take a look because I think wants to try and maintain the distance between the thing that hurt her and going through some stuff. Ishmael's gonna like take the initiative to go and see what's up with this key.
Yeah, it
That's
looks like
fluttering on the ground.
It just looks like a key with wings, and one of its wings got hurt at some point. The rest of the flock has already flown by.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
it's okay. It's nature. Here. It's okay. Thank you.
For lack of a
Ishmael.
better term, yes. No, don't, please.
Thank you.
It is fine. We're friends, yes?
Yes, very much so.
There are no favors
Yes.
between friends.
You're right. Thank you again, though. It means a lot to me.
That's all right. Kind of like Ishmael's kind of like looking at this key and goes, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just gonna let it be, I think.
Yeah, at that Lillian like stands up, kind of like dusts herself off, checks her hands again and the ground, just more of a making sure she didn't lose any pieces of herself.
Everything feels there.
Should we continue on our way?
Yes, is everything all right? Have you?
Yes, everything seems to be back where it should be.
That's good. All right, let's take it easy. Let's take the
Yes.
slow walk.
Let's. Yes,
I'm
thank
sure
you.
Roshni won't mind if we took our time.
We'll still probably show up at the same time.
The two of you continue making your way towards the Blue Royal, where you do see Roshni and Alecto the Cursemaker out to the front. The Blue Royal is actually fairly nondescript from the outside. It has just a sign that says the Blue Royal, and for everyone in the audience, Royal is spelled R-O-I-L, not like a royal flush, like the roiling of water or the sea. And it is a simple double door with blue and gold, and the sign seems hollow and made of glass filled with water and fish. Ishmael and Lillian walk up. Lillian, how do you look to the other two at this point? Have you been able to ground yourself, or are you still...
Lillian looks complete. There's no more holes in her, but you do notice that the normal cracked appearance, there are far more cracks than normal, and you see them, it's moving much faster. You could definitely tell that she's Roshni, you especially would know because you've spent time with Lillian. I feel like you've seen her shatter before. Would recognize what happened.
And Roshni, to the other two. What's going on?
Yeah, I think you would see the same sort of energy that Alecto first saw when you see Roshni as well. If anybody is paying attention, you notice that the bookmark on their book that is always kind of poking out of their satchel has changed color and is now, it used to be blue earlier today, and now it's like a rainbow sort of color. And you notice that there is sort of a dullness about them. They're not quite moving as much as they normally do. Like normally they kind of fidget and they're just always kind of moving around, and you don't see that anymore. They're like very still. And the same, I think the biggest difference is in their eyes that you can see. So that same feeling of like a fire that has been doused and there's like burning embers like dying.
Hi. Sorry for keeping you all waiting.
That's fine. We had a very quiet walk.
So did we.
And Alecto's head tips and like looks between Lillian and Ishmael. Meow meow meow.
No, let them.
Just looks between the two of them.
The cat also does not believe us.
The alley cat goes by and goes, as if.
I think Roshni just kind of like walks up to Lillian and like rubs their arm a little bit, but like doesn't say anything.
Lillian would like grab Roshni's hand and like squeeze it and like rub it as well because she recognizes something's wrong with Roshni but doesn't really want to call them out in the situation.
Are you feeling all right, Roshni?
Complete opposite reaction. I'm fine. Shall we go inside?
After you.
I suppose so. And Roshni is going to go to the front entrance of the Blue Royal.
Sure. On the pale sun, I have pulled the Vizier.
Oh.
Vizier. Value of 0. Notions, cats, clocks, and wind. Meanings. Manipulation, sycophant, power, influence. Lurking in the shadows, the Vizier controls from a distance. They do not sit upon a throne, but instead are the power behind that throne. They don't make laws, they circumvent them, but they do it further that ends of the ruler, the land, or perhaps themselves. The Vizier has a secret agendas within agendas. Their smooth words manipulate everyone, even the ruler they supposedly serve. Thus, they have much of the real power and influence. Are they acting in the best interests of the ruler or themselves? How can we ever be certain? The Vizier is the nemesis of notions. They cannot be trusted. The Nemesis card is a -2 to Ardence, -1 to everyone else. This couldn't go any fucking better narratively.
God, I hate this. Wow, okay.
Like I can't tell you how good this is narratively, everybody. This is
You only take the -2 if you're an Ardent?
Yes, everyone else has a -1.
Cool.
Okay. So as the 4 of you enter the Blue Royal, it is much bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, and it is magnificent. The ceiling raised is very, very high, probably like 3 to 4 stories, and the upper third is actually filled with standing water, not separated by glass or anything like that. And you see fish and other aquatic wildlife swimming through it. You even see the 2-headed yellow fish with more red scales and the very splayed, beautiful fins swimming out of the water, but also through the air. The front entrance kind of dips down into the main floor where you see penny machines, slot machines, a roped off area where you can do cards and other bets. And at the very, very far end with stairs and ramps leading up to that are on the outer rims leading up, you, Roshni, and Ishmael would know lead up to the VIP quarters. And there is another room to the right where public matches of games can be seen, like public professional matches. The ground is it's like a carpet that kind of looks like sand. And when you enter, there is a front desk where you can exchange your crystal for tokens and chips and all those lines as the 4 of you enter. There is a very light jazz music playing in the air, and it's kind of, even for earlier in the day, like in the afternoon, it's fairly busy.
All right. And Alecto is, again, as always, immediately around people trying very hard not to touch anything or anyone or get touched by anything or anyone. Like this big matchstick that's moving around people. They turn to Ishmael, though. What was Kieran's favorite game?
I'm going to look at my wonderful GM for that.
They didn't gamble a lot, so when they went with you, they just kind of tailed you around and just sat at slots, or just followed you around, cheering you on and telling you when to stop.
In all honesty, in my relationship with Kiran, it was very much them ensuring I did not go too wild during these instances, but slots is a good one to start with, perhaps. I like being around people, though, just to see what the mood is like, but how is everyone else feeling? Roshni, you mentioned you knew some folks here.
Yes, there's, in the VIP lounge, there's a group of weavers who frequent there, and they don't play these silly games, slots, cards, poker, whatever. Instead, we play, or they play, a different game, the Spiders game.
You would all
Only
know
weavers.
You would all know of the Spiders game. Anyone is allowed to play it, but mostly weavers only do. It is a very complex game played anywhere between 4 and 9 game boards, and they think moves and moves ahead. It's 4D chess on steroids.
I was quite good at it back when I played here. I suppose that's the place we should go.
I'm going to clarify as someone who has attended the Blue Royal before. The VIP thing is usually like you have to either, is it a purchasable thing, or is it like you have to know people to be there?
You need to know people or be a high roller.
Definitely not Ishmael, so.
Like I said, you need me here.
I've never quite ventured there. This is going to be quite exciting.
And then I think at that, Roshni is just going to walk on over to the front desk.
There is a young woman, tan skin, just like super short cropped black hair, writing down on a notebook. Yes, how may I help you today? And she's like looking down at like paperwork and stuff. Would you like to change crystal for chips, or what can I do for you today?
I would like to get into the VIP lounge.
After a moment after you speak, she looks up, gives you a look, and then does a double take, and then turns to look at something underneath the desk.
No, don't look at that. I need to get into
sorry.
the VIP lounge.
I'm sorry, but I can't allow you into the establishment. You're on the banned list. I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Is
This
this conversation
everyone can hear
loud
this.
enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as soon as it's like, okay, Alecto comes over, all 6'8" and no clothes of them. And I think like if Roshni is like here at the desk, they just kind of reach over, like over top of standing behind and above Roshni, and like put one arm, like hand on the desk and like lean into this person. I'm sorry, what was that? I think you're mistaken. Look again.
You're definitely trying to intimidate. Okay, you may roll. You have a -1 to your roll from the card.
Oh, bitch. Could I actually use,
You can use
I'll see what happens with this.
interaction, Benny, if you would like to cancel it out and roll flat.
Let's see what happens here.
Okay.
This is, what is this with? Interaction?
Interaction.
Okay.
What is it? Tell me.
What did you do?
I rolled a 1.
So you got a 0
Minus
total.
1. So I got a 0 total.
Ishmael's watching this car, this train wreck.
I'm sorry, but it is against company policy to allow any. My job is on the line. I really hope you understand.
Look
The 3 of you
at your
can go in.
old records. Just look from a few months ago.
I can get fired for this, and I'm sorry, but. And then she kind of cuts off as she listens to something like someone talking to her. Ma'am, are you sure? Welcome back, Miss Roshni. Nix that, Roshni. Your VIP status has been initiated for the day.
Thank you. Okay. Let's go. And Roshni just unceremoniously turns to walk towards the VIP lounge.
Ishmael's going to kind of like nod at Lillian and just like communicate through his eyes, not where he thought this day was going. Walk further up towards Alecto, kind of brushing his very short shoulder in comparison to Alecto. And just kind
Alecto
of
flinches as they get touched. Like they fully jump away from you.
well, and he kind of just like raises a hand to apologize, but leans in to whisper. Layers of illusion and fog, certainly.
I don't like this, Ishmael. I don't do well with people in the best of times.
Just, let's see if maybe I could help smooth things over, and hopefully Roshni will be fine. As, he kind of just like clears his throat and just walks on.
I'm assuming you're all following Roshni.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
And Roshni, you're just heading
Look, I'm sorry. I said we shouldn't go here.
and you're heading right for the VIP lounge.
Yeah,
Okay.
not making any stops along the way.
I'm gonna say a couple things. The first thing, Roshni, since you have gone ahead, there is like kind of like a railed part separating this VIP lounge that's on the second floor to the rest of the thing, and you do see a familiar figure leaning out over the balcony, make eye contact with you before turning around and walking back into the VIP lounge. The second thing that you all probably would notice, because just like in a game store when they ban people, they have pictures of the banned list as well, like intermittently posted throughout the entire Royal. One, you do see Roshni, and right next to Roshni, kind of like they took the picture together, is a young man with white hair, arms slung over their shoulder that bears a striking resemblance to Eleanor, with a large rune tattoo on their neck that goes below the shirt. And the third thing is just a miscellaneous note. Alecto, you kind of see someone you recognize but don't know super well. They are just sitting at some penny slot machines, pulling on, the bar as well. And you don't know them very well. They have like super short brown hair, like tousled glasses, probably a little shorter than Roshni, a Caucasian man. Very bookish. And you recognize him not because that he worked with your mentor for like at max 2 weeks to learn bookbinding, but because after those 2 weeks, he abruptly quit the Makers. And that's like, no one knows why, but it was the talk of the order for a little bit. You would know him as Oliver Burns. I don't even think you spoke 2 words to each other. But just someone you know, kinda, not really.
Uh-huh. And Alecto, upon seeing somebody they know, hood up and keeps trucking.
Before they walk too far off, Lillian would stop at that desk. What is your policy on photography?
We,
Not in the VIP area, of course.
as long as it's not for anything specific, you just casual, it's fine.
Oh, thank you. And Lillian makes a point to take a photo of the photo of Roshni on the wall.
Ishmael like just smiles because he doesn't want to let Lillian too far out of his sight. But like smiles at that just wide grin.
You're lucky Roshni does not care about things right now.
I know, this is the perfect time to do things like this.
Just to do this bullshit. I love it.
And then takes a few more, just as they're walking, candidates of the group and of the crowd.
Sure, of course. the group of you following Roshni head up to the VIP lounge. There are no windows. It has a similar layout to, well, not a layout, but a similar vibe to the rest of the establishment. Very dark blue walls that seem to be moving with the ocean. Fish just flying around, somehow not getting anywhere in the way of anyone who walks in, as if there is a charm on the place. Roshni. How far behind is everyone behind Roshni?
Not super far, I think.
There's only one person in this VIP lounge. And as you all walk in, you would see a person about Roshni's height, 5'9", 5'10", very androgynous figure, with warm brown skin and dark hair. Not enough buttons buttoned up on their shirt, with suspenders. One arm is a prosthetic made out of glass, filled with water and a swarm of multicolored fish on the inside. On their left hand, there is a very kind of familiar looking hand armor. And probably the most interesting piece of jewelry on them is an earring. It has 3 chains on it, 2 of which at the end hold sapphires. And the final chain is a small glass trinket that holds a lightning storm. And I'm going to put art of this character in our chat. I will post this to the Twitter another day. Thank you, C, for making this art.
Is this what you've been working on?
Thank you for drawing my pain.
But yes,
You're welcome.
I will just post later on the forward Twitter. Yes, they are very, very hot. But
this needs to be up this whole conversation.
Roshni, you recognize your ex, Taryn Bernards, who is leaning up against a plush chair, just waiting for your arrival. They have their gambler face on.
If I may add sort of a detail, can we say that Taryn is sitting at a board, like at a table?
Yes, but it's not set up.
Okay. Then I think Roshni would walk in, like notice that Taryn is the only person in this room, and sit across from, like not even like making any sort of movements or saying anything, just silently walks up to the gaming table, sits across from Taryn, crosses their arms and their legs. Hello, Taryn.
Little firework.
Don't call me that.
They kind of nod as if they will oblige your request. I would say the 3 of you do walk in as soon as you hear that. The vibe seems tense in the room. Even though they have this gambler face on, this face of impassiveness. Their legs are crossed as they lean back across the table from Roshni.
Good day. Pardon our intrusion. My name is Ishmael. I'm accompanying Roshni with several of our friends. It's a pleasure to meet you. Kind of like gestures to hear.
They give you a nod. They give you a nod in turn. The only one who doesn't really get an actual nod is Roshni. Taryn.
Taryn, it is lovely to meet you.
Would be lying if I said that I wasn't surprised that Roshni appeared back at the Royal. And then they give you a look and nod.
It wasn't planned. I didn't want to be here, but necessity brings me here. We need information, Taryn, and I think you have it. And Roshni looks like pointedly at the hand armor on Taryn's hand.
As you look at it and mention it, one hand reaches, that hand with the hand armor reaches up and fiddles with their dangling earring. And why are you looking for this information? We haven't spoken years.
This is not a personal visit, Taryn. Don't flatter yourself. This is simply business.
Is it your business?
In part.
Then maybe we should all chat, whoever is involved. And
Roshni
they
just
look
kind of
at
like
you.
gestures.
Yeah, they
to
look at the
everyone.
group. Please, take a seat. Would you like anything to drink? I have a bottle of, well, the Royal has a large stock.
Ishmael kind of like with a hand lowered, gesturing like Lillian and Alecto to come along as he kind of like tries to confidently stride forward. Whatever drink that you are having, Taryn, I will join. With a wide smile and just pulls a seat.
In that case, they actually get up from their chair as everyone who wants to settle in settles in and walks over to essentially what is a small bar and pours a drink. And they look at Alecto and Lillian as well. As well as they pour 2 glasses for now until they get something from Alecto and Lillian.
Just water is fine, thank you. May I take your photo?
Not in the
It's-
VIP lounge.
Understandable. And she goes and sits down next to Ishmael.
Do you say anything, Alecto?
Nope, I do not. Electo, standing still, I think, leaned against one of the like walls behind their friends. I think.
Mhm.
Do I recognize?
Yes.
Right. Cool.
What?
Yes, you do. It was not filled last time you saw it. But you recognize it, yes.
All right. I'll hold on to that.
Cool.
Electo doesn't say anything.
I think Roshni just kind of like, without looking back, just says, "Wine from the Red Sun for me."
They pick up the glass they already had poured. And they hold 2 glasses in one hand, an empty glass in another, and walk over and hand you a drink, Ishmael, your wine, Roshni, and then an empty glass for you, Lillian, but they tap the rim and it fills with water.
That's neat.
And they take their seat again, legs crossed, their own drink. The fish, very curious about this very bright green liquid reflecting against the glass of their arm. They sit and they wait.
Taryn, that armor on your hand, where did you get it?
I won it in a bet.
Care to elaborate?
You're gonna have to roll for this.
Okay, what am I rolling?
You need to roll an interaction, Bene. You have
Okay.
a -2 from the current card.
Okay, I technically have a +1 against Taryn.
You do have a
for-
+1 against Taryn, that's right.
Okay, so it's just -1. I also have I have a +2 to persuasion. Does
Yep.
that count here? Okay,
does.
cool. So
Do you want to use interaction, Bene?
yes, I'm gonna roll with a +2 overall. Let's
Okay,
hope that this works out.
You can also, if you would like to, apply hidden knowledge, which is mechanically any type of bit of knowledge that you can pull out of your own ass that would apply to the situation. It is a consumable resource. And if you want to, you can roll sortilege to up your chances and roll 2 dice and employ magic.
Yes, let's do that. Let's
Alright.
do that.
What is your little bit of hidden knowledge, and what kind of magic? When you use sortilege, you're pulling at the raw magic of the invisible sun and bending it to your will. What are you doing?
Okay, so I think that with the aggregates or the sparks that Roshni knows for those in the audience, like fire and lust are the 2 that they pull on the most. And I think being here with Taryn again, they are going to pull on the quality of passion for fire and the quality of
You don't actually have to
compulsion.
weave to use sortilege, by the way.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you just do it.
All right, cool. In that case, yeah, I think then, in that case, Roshni is going to, okay, I'm going to maybe bend the rules a little bit, but Roshni is going to, I think, use their ability to manipulate fire to make the storm roiling inside of the bauble on Taryn's earring, like become like essentially like a hurricane. Like it increases intensely, and I think that this sort of is meant to serve as a reminder for Taryn of everything that has happened before.
Okay. So you have, I think you said you have a -2 from the card. You have a +1 for reasons. You have an interaction betting and a hidden knowledge and a +2 persuasion. So that's a +3 total to your roll.
Okay, and I'm rolling 2 d10s?
You are rolling 2 d10s. One of them is magic. Please make sure you tell me if you roll a 0 on the magic die.
Okay. Okay. So I got an 11 on one.
Okay,
And then I got a 5
So
on
you
the
rolled
other.
an 8.
Yes, I rolled an 8 and a 2.
When you're talking to them, their hand is still on this bauble, which sparks and seems to blacken the tips of their fingers, but they don't let go of this little bauble. And their gambling face breaks just slightly as they stare at you. Why do you need to know this knowledge?
That's not important, Taryn. You were never the curious type. Why ask questions now?
Because the circumstances of this bet I won were curious. They practically gave it to me through the match. People don't
They
just...
lost on purpose.
Yes. They were not a weaver. They didn't know what they were doing. Which makes me think they wanted it somewhere safe.
Safe with you. And I think Roshni turns to Lillian and kind of like gestures for Lillian to pull their like photos that they've taken before out, and pulls out the one of like Kieran that you have. Was this the person that you bet with?
They hold out their hand for the photo.
Lillian will look at Ishmael before she pulls out the photo.
Muted.
You're muted.
My mouse didn't want to click. All right. Ishmael just gives a brief nod and pays full attention to try and read Taryn's entire motives and body language.
Okay.
The
as soon
picture
as you do.
that Lillian will show is one of the more recent ones, not one of the older photos.
If it was a
Oh no, it's
'Cause-
not. I mean, it's one of the photos without the armor on,
okay, they
and it's one where it's not as obvious about everyone in it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, if you mean anything like present day after the war, the only one that you have is the one Ishmael has in their journal. But there's probably like a couple miscellaneous ones toward the end of the photo album with you. They will take it and give it a hard glance and before handing it back and nodding. That was them.
And just because I need just one more clarification, just to be sure, it is my mother's hand armor he's wearing. No? Or is it the Kieran's hand
It's
armor?
Kieran's.
So it's not the one that was stolen from
Correct.
the fridge.
Correct.
Cool.
How
Cool.
familiar are you with this individual? Do you play together often? You said that it felt like it was a circumstance where they threw the game. How familiar are you with their gameplay tactics?
They're answering you, Ishmael, but their attention is mostly on Roshni with the occasional flicker to Alecto and Lillian. I've played them once.
Hmm.
Anyone can challenge me to a match.
So, not one game that occurred here in the VIP room.
This was a long time ago. It was either here. It was likely here. I don't really invite a lot of people to my home. They're looking right at Roshni as they say this.
Roshni is looking back, making eye contact.
And this person you invited to your home, was their challenge particularly enticing?
I'm sorry,
The
say that one more
item.
time.
Was their challenge particularly enticing? I mean, as you just said, not many come to your home. You seem very... I mean, you're here in this incredible part of the establishment, as I might say. It's quite curious.
Very. Which is why I'm hesitant to spill a lot of information, because it was odd.
Then allow me to pay you in kind.
I don't think Taryn wants payment. You want to play, don't you?
No.
No.
I always do enjoy a game. But I honestly don't think any of you could win. So I'm saving you the embarrassment of losing.
Then what do you want?
I want a good reason to give you the information. Roshni is... I would be willing to give it, but I need something in return. Like, why?
I came back with no memories.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the few things left, and one of the few leads we have, is this person in that armor. If even just a little bit of information can help us.
Well, if you want to know, I've seen them since. I haven't.
And how long ago has it been since you have seen them?
Before the war. Before I met Roshni.
So you acquired this particular piece before the war?
Yes.
What have you used it for, Taryn?
You're assuming it has a use.
I know it has a use.
And they put the glass down and actually lean over the board and look at you directly in the eye. That knowledge would be best not uttered from my lips.
You shouldn't have that. It's not yours.
It's better off in my hands than the general public.
Are you a
Nothing's
fan
better
of
off in
Anya
your hands.
Prose's work?
They look at you. Yes. Kind of like this, their visage actually is very confused at the sudden change of topics. Yes, I am. She did a great job on my arm. She is one of the best artisans that I've ever worked with.
Yes, she is, isn't she?
What does this have to do with the conversation at hand?
It's very interesting that you would be a fan of Anya's work and not know that you are wearing, in fact, 2 of her pieces.
Well, that was news to me. As I said, I won it in a bet, motioning with the armor. Excuse
Do you
me
know
if
what
I
it
can't
takes?
Talk to objects. Actually,
That
that's
seems rather-
that's actually a really bad way to say that. That's a mere mistake. That is a mere mistake. They would not say that. It does not make sense. I don't know where everything comes from that's given to me that I did not acquire myself.
That's a shame. Sometimes things stick to you that shouldn't. I'll take that off your hands if you want. Literally. I don't think you're going to want it for much longer.
Cursemaker. I think if anyone should have that, it should be me.
Bold of you to assume I'm just going to give it to you. And at this, they actually stand up.
I think Roshni is going to weave a spell to pull Terran back down in their seat.
While they are figuring out the mechanics of that, what are you saying, Ishmael? What are you doing? You're muted.
Ishmael's watching this train wreck happen in front of them. It's just like, what is happening? What is happening? It's just kind of like, oh, you're saying something? You're saying, oh, okay. Ishmael kind of like raises, kind of like turns his entire body to face Taryn as Taryn stands up and goes, "You're a fan of Anya, so you would know that there was an incident at an art gallery featuring her work."
Do you want to roll, Roshni, and tell me what you are doing?
Yeah, so specifically using movement from fire and proximity from lust to pull Terran's ass back down in their seat. Like, I'll describe what it looks like if it succeeds, I feel like.
Sure.
But I will use this sorcery beta if I can for this.
Yeah, so I will say that this is a level 5 effect. So you need to spend 5 sorcery. You have a minus. You're going to have to roll, by the way. You have a.
Yeah, that's fine.
You got 5. You get the extra +1 for reasons. You have a -2 from the card, which puts us at a +4. So you're going to roll a total of 3 die, 2 sorcery die.
All right, let's do it. 3 dice, 2 sorceries. Let's go. Okay, I rolled a 4, 3, and a 3 for a total of 14.
You don't add them together.
Oh, no? Okay.
They're just
never
individual.
mind. Oh my god, do I add the +4 individually?
Yes, just tell me the numbers on the
Okay.
die. I got this.
Okay, 4, 3, and 3.
Rather abrupt. Yeah, they get pulled back down.
Taryn, we're not done with you yet.
They just give you a look. And what was the question again, Ishmael?
Ishmael at this point kind of feels like he's interrupting something that should be left behind closed doors.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
He kind of like clears his throat, a flush of pink to his cheeks. Pardon me. I just wanted to mention that you are a fan of Anya's work, yes, and in that regard, you would know that one of her pieces was displayed at the fridge.
I did not.
Well, it was. Looks
And
an
let
awful
me-
lot like that.
Let me clarify. I am a fan of her work because I've commissioned her. But I'm not a fan person following her work around obsessively.
Forgive my assumption then. But that finger armor looks very similar to yours, and that particular armor has been taken during an art gallery showing.
Unfortunate.
I'm just wanting to confirm your kind information with information of my own that you may need to figure out how curious the circumstances are.
It is a curiosity that does not involve me.
It may yet, though.
You like bets?
Yes, but I only play games for them.
What are the odds are you think that you've been tricked?
In what regards?
What a pretty piece of jewelry. Highly magical. Given to you on an off chance that somebody didn't want it anymore. Why is that, do you think?
Enlighten me. Their hand is
Well,
still fiddling with that earring.
if I were to do the math, keep up if you can. What would I think? It's been stolen from someone else, the exact twin. You don't even know what it does.
I never said that. I know exactly what it does. And I am telling you that it's too dangerous to be given to anyone.
And you think that you, all by your lonesome, will be able to protect it from whoever really wants it?
What makes you
Because
think that you can
somebody-
do better?
I'd make a bet.
What's the game?
What's your favorite?
They motion to the spiders game. I'll play you. I can't say no.
For the hand armor.
For the hand armor. If that's what you want. And what do you want in return?
What will I offer in return?
If I win, yes.
Fuck. Oh, shit. Sorry, I was thinking really hard.
Careful what you bet.
Do you say that?
No. No.
Don't mind me just sipping my tea.
Mayor,
Yes.
in this conversation,
Mm-hmm.
how much do I know about what that hand armor could do? And how much do I know about the other piece?
The other piece is non-magical. The arm is non-magical in the sense that it doesn't have an actual, like, maker function. It's not meant to blast you with magical energy as a weapon or anything. It is a prosthetic magically protected to not break and have the functionality of an arm. The other piece you do not know, but from what Eleanor said and what you know, the potential for it to do anything is limitless. But you don't know what it does. No one knows what it does for sure.
Give C time to think.
Yes.
I think Roshni is going to, like, lean in towards Taryn
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of shake
You're both over the board.
shake their head, looking deep into Taryn's eyes. It's not like you to take a game this easy. You know you'll win. This isn't a true game. Play someone that can actually beat you.
And they look you right in the eyes. Again, you know, and I have told you multiple times in the past, that I cannot turn a game down, regardless of who asks me.
Funny. Seems you turned a game down earlier today.
There wasn't a challenge behind it.
Roshni sighs, looks over at Cursemaker. Have you ever played before?
This is up to
They're
you.
silent.
Well, let me just warn you. Taryn doesn't play nice. If you want, I can step in for you.
Neither do I.
Then
Fine.
it's all yours, Cursemaker.
I made that.
Kind
I
of.
helped make that.
You're
not the armor.
assistant that she talked about in our consultations.
Do you know what it takes to blow glass?
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And strong lungs.
You'd be surprised. I can make that whatever you want. You want to put fish in it, make it look pretty? Fine. I could give you more.
Give me something solid. What are you offering me?
I'm offering you a curse of your own.
They hold out their hand to seal a deal.
Ishmael's
Alecto
looking at
shakes.
Alecto. Oh no.
They specifically hold out their right hand, the prosthetic. And even though your hand does not meet flesh, you feel...
Shit! Oh, fuck! Okay, go ahead.
You feel something. You know what it is. And I will DM you the specifics as it is active. But it is latched on like a coiled snake. Tight. But instead of scales, there are barbs. And the harder it squeezes, the harder it will take to get rid of it.
Should have let Roshni play for you.
No, it's cool. I got this. Oh, God.
It does not latch onto you. But you know what it does. As I type this out, please. As they are shaking hands.
We could just burn this place to the ground. That's just April talking out of character. Like, do we need to go on the offensive? Like,
Don't worry. I actually feel like I got this, surprisingly enough.
okay.
As their hands connect, Alecto's tattoos, I think, not splinter is the wrong word, but they like move, like they all like dart, like around their body and then resettle again, like very suddenly as they immediately let go
I DM'd you.
and pull away. Okay, hold on, let me look at that. Where is it?
Mayor, I have
Okay.
a mechanical thing that I would like to say.
Yes.
With this game,
Mhm.
however it goes, if it looks like a curse maker is losing, Roshni is going to cheat for them secretly. Is going to influence the board so that they aren't losing anymore.
Okay.
Don't worry, I actually feel like I got this.
I'm just putting a contingency plan in place.
All right. They sit down and wave their hand over. How many boards?
Dealer's choice.
They scrutinize you for a second and put up 5 boards in the starting positions. Still beginners.
Great. Alecto greets the boards in their own way.
Okay.
Then they look at Taryn again.
Direct eye contact with you.
Through the mask. You know, it's interesting.
Oh?
I could take that nasty little thing from you if you want. But I get the feeling you like it.
They give you a look. I'm sorry? And there's actually like a genuine look of confusion on like what you're talking about in their face.
Ah. Never mind. And I am going to cast Quickening on the game board.
What does quickening do?
Quickening gives the semblance of life, or at least animation, to an inanimate object. It functions as a mindless creature 2 levels below the level of the spell. That would be 3rd level. It operates based on its shape and nature. So if I cast the spell on a corpse, blah, 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 it moves as it does. And it is under the object is under my control.
Okay.
And I am going to ask the board to play itself and win.
Can you DM me the spell, please? I need to look at actual mechanics because there's still a chance it could lose.
Great. I also have counterspell, and I can and will lose those.
Funny thing is, they aren't using magic to play. They're just really good at fucking good at the game.
Cool. I personally don't know how to play, but maybe Alecto is also pretty good at it. Anyway, let me DM you those things.
Okay, please. The game board sets itself, and as you cast your spell, because it's kind of apparent, they kind of look at you, quirk an eyebrow, but don't say anything, as pieces begin to move on their own. Even though Ishmael and Lillian, have you ever seen this game or played? I feel like I know the answer for Lillian, but what about Ishmael?
I was gonna ask you actually, because you mentioned that this is for like 4D chess, right?
The simplest, the
Um,
simplest
the
explanation.
simplest explanation.
Yes.
But you also mentioned that is this like a very Weaver game?
It is. Anyone can technically play, but is most often played by weavers. It's just so fucking complicated.
But so it's kind of like chess is about like thinking ahead of time, scrutinizing your
Yes.
opponent, things like that.
Yes.
Ishmael's definitely played.
Yes. In that case, you would immediately recognize that Terran is extremely good at the game. If you've hung around the Blue Royal, you might have actually seen one of their matches, and they rarely lose. Like public matches. You give the semblance of life, or at least animation, to an inanimate object. It functions as a mindless creature 2 levels below the spell. So what I will say, what happens is you'll still have to roll, and you can give the level of the board to your venture. So you can add a +3 to your venture. You can also add hidden knowledge and intellect bene, and if you would like to utilize sortilege, you may as well. And one more time, can you remind me what you asked of them in the bet?
What I asked of Terran?
Yes, can you remind me, please?
To give me the hand armor.
Okay. Okay. And Roshni, you can tell they're not pulling out any stops. You would know this probably second best out of everyone, that they put in as much effort into a game that they are given, or if the terms are really bad, and they are playing as hard as they can.
I really don't want to lose that hand armor, do they?
Mm-mm. Okay, so C, what are you utilizing to add to your venture? Because honestly, I was not expecting you to play.
I know, but I love to make surprises. Alecto can... So I'm utilizing the most my relationship with converses with everything. Mm-hmm. That Alecto is talking to the pieces. They've never played this game before, but they can talk to the pieces. And they can also, I think, talk to Terran's pieces as they... pieces.
Yeah, but they're moving the pieces. So
yeah. But they can understand maybe how and why the pieces are moving, like to what strategic event. So I'm trying to utilize that understanding of literally speaking to the game as it's being played.
I'll give you this. If you want to utilize that as a hidden knowledge bit of information, we can do that. So hidden knowledge, are you using intellect bene?
You absolutely bet I am.
You're at a +5. Are you using sortilege?
If I can, yes, I have it. Okay. I will use it.
So you're going to roll 2 dice. One of them is going to be magic. So, and you have a -1 from the card. So you're adding a +4 to your roll.
Excellent. I rolled a 9 on my magic dice, and I rolled a 7 on my non-magical dice.
Wow.
That was a really good roll.
Those are extremely good rolls because, spoiler alert, Terran is a level 7 creature with 3 levels in Spider's game. So unless you did stuff, you were not going to succeed. So how do you explain this extremely close match? It's extremely fucking close.
Mm-hmm. Alecto is playing, and it's like if Spider's game, you're supposed to be also manipulating your opponent, right? That you're like talking to each other.
It is a tactic.
A tactic?
It is a tactic.
Alecto is like ignoring Terran, like flat out not paying any attention to them, and is like really quietly, like probably muffled by their mask.
They're also ignoring you.
Great. We're ignoring each other. And Alecto is like speaking to the pieces, and like their whole like they're just like their head is tilting in the way that they are just like listening. And I think the last move, right? Like I think the piece starts to move itself, and Alecto for the first time like actually speaks out loud and says, no, the other way. And I think that's their move.
They kind of realize like several moves earlier, and their face definitely 100% glass, a wall, but their hand fiddles with the earring again. And as the final piece is set down, they stare at you, Alecto, and also stare at you, Roshni. A bet's a bet. Though I would like a private word with the two of you.
If Ishmael and Lillian don't mind.
By all means.
Not a problem.
If there's anything
we
you would
leave.
like, refreshments, please let the attendants at the front know, and they will get it for you.
That is very kind of you. Thank you.
Kind host. Thanks.
They give a wry smile.
Ishmael's got a smirk. A shit-eating grin.
Fucking good.
Ishmael's rooted for Cursemaker his entire time. It was just like,
Yeah. And before they say anything else, they actually go get a drink and pour you another glass of capital R red wine, Roshni. And actually pour you a drink, Alecto, even though you don't ask for it, and bring it over to the two of you, placing it down on the now inanimate game board. And as they are
I
speaking...
think the game actually probably just keeps playing itself. Like, it just keeps going, I think.
In that case, they wave their hand over the board and stops, and it resets. And as they are talking, they are beginning to unbuckle the hand armor. What I'm going to give you should not be used. And they stare right at Roshni.
Tend to use it. I just want it.
Are you being sincere, Roshni?
No.
Roll me deception. Or some
Oh,
kind
God.
of lying.
Okay.
Do you have any-
I don't have anything.
Do you have anything in
about
lying?
No. Can I use an interaction?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a flat roll then.
Okay. You still have a minus
Okay.
2 from the card.
Yeah, but I have the +1 against Terran plus
Oh,
the
yep, that's right.
plus the Bene, so it's flat now.
It's flat.
Oh, dice be nice to me. 6?
No.
Ugh.
I literally just said there was level in 7, and if you don't think they have levels in, like, insight as being a gambler, oh, honey.
Okay, I think then, because Terran has known Roshni for so long, and, like they knew each other from before the war, so it's been, like, years and years and years that they've known each other. And it's clear that they've played the Spiders game a lot with each other. And so Terran is used to trying to suss out, like, Roshni's tells and, like, all of the different, like, ticks that they have when they're lying. And I think Terran can just know immediately from just years of practice, even though they haven't spoken in, like, however long it's been since Roshni came back from Shadow. Even though they haven't spoken or seen each other since then, I think it's like riding a bike. Like, it's just easy to pick up on.
Like, definitely. And they turn to you, Alecto, and hand the armor to you. Hold it out to you, but don't, like, give it to you and let go yet. Do not let them use this.
We bet. The bet is ours. And so is the armor.
Exactly. Do not. And they will hand it to you and let go.
Alecto is very careful not to touch Terran again.
When you grab the hand armor, a magical enchantment, and it kind of resizes itself if you wanted to put it on.
Okay. I do.
Okay. You can use it for either hand, it doesn't matter. They just had it on their left hand.
Alecto puts it on and, like, fastens the straps or the jewelry clasps.
Yeah.
And it looks, I think, odd, you know, the
Oh,
like
yeah.
the beautiful jewelry against, also because the tattoos go all the way down to their hand. So it's like the ink underneath and then the jewelry on top is, and also their giant muscular hands. I don't know. Anyway, it looks odd, but they wear it.
Is there any
Pleasure doing business.
pleasure?
Roshni does not reciprocate that. I think Roshni, before everyone like gets up to leave, Roshni's just eyeing the earring that Taryn is wearing. You have a tell now, you know. One day someone's gonna notice it and you'll lose.
They have a wry smile. I'm aware.
Don't get the wrong idea, Blue. I just don't want you to be in games that are unfair. And there's like emphasis on the word unfair.
They don't say anything until the two of you start walking away. Apathy's not a good look on you.
Roshni doesn't react and just keeps walking.
The four of you have
I
walked
think
back
in the
Oh,
hallway.
go ahead.
Sorry, just in the hallway as Cursemaker and Roshni are like walking back to like find where Ishmael and Lillian have gone. I think Roshni is going to just like put their hand out to like touch the jewelry, the hand armor that Alecto is wearing, and just kind of like fiddle with it.
Right over the head.
That is not why. Roshni is just like absentmindedly kind of like fiddling with it, and then finally says, "Do you want this?"
Yes, I do.
What do you want it for?
And Alecto also, they kind of like lean down. And they tilt Roshni's chin up toward them.
Oh my god. With your sword?
I'm not. No, that's put away. We don't even need that yet.
Yep.
Sorry, little rabbit. This one's mine.
I don't suppose I could convince you to part with it, could I?
No. Not even for such a pretty little dagger.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day, little rabbit. But they were right. Apathy doesn't look good on you.
I think at that, Roshni just kind of like quickly takes their hand off of the jewelry, and like for the first time in what's been like since you have seen them today, there's like a look of like surprise in their face before it kind of like fades away, and they just stop looking at you and sort of like scan the room or the hallway for Ishmael and Lillian.
I think we were vibing.
Did you get a
Yeah,
drink?
we're just
Did you get a
yeah,
drink?
just grab a
Ishmael,
drink.
Ishmael pours another drink and downs it.
Yeah.
And goes, okay. And then pulls out his journal and begins scribbling and goes, I am not liking how everything is panning out, Lillian.
It did go in our favor, though.
It did.
It could have very easily not have, though.
Just worried about what Kieran is up to. You see him kind of like linger on the photo of him and Kieran on that front page of the book and then close it.
Again, more questions than answers, but we do now have a piece of the puzzle.
Indeed.
What do you... No, it's never. Not that
No.
moment.
No, go on.
Was it just me, or did Taryn seem genuinely concerned that this could fall into the wrong hands?
Ishmael thinks for a moment, purses his lips. I think that Taran is a skilled player. And with skilled player comes skill, insight, and wisdom. They probably understood the gravity of this object.
You're right. But I do feel that there's a much stronger connection between Kieran and Taryn than we know.
Perhaps.
He had to have thought of to come here for some reason, to bring it here.
Lillian, you see Ishmael's brows knit together. Almost. It is a negative emotion at the very least. I think you can.
At that, Lillian just kind of lets you go back to your journal, realizing that you're probably you're in your mind place now. And she takes a few more photos.
Mind palace.
You're in your mind palace now. She does make, and it like if I see the door opening for the room, I will like kind of like click click towards.
I love Lillian so much.
And maybe that's when.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna. Go ahead.
I think maybe we're going for the same thing. That it's probably then that Alecto and Roshni come probably like down the stairs into the bar area, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Alecto, can we get out of here now, please?
Yes, please. Let's go.
Let's move post haste then. Congratulations again on a Quizmaker. Excellent game.
I like learning.
Strategy. It was a great strategy.
Says Lillian, who has never fucking played.
She's just trying to be
cheating.
encouraging.
Cheating, Cursemaker, but it worked.
Is it cheating?
Yes.
I mean, Taran didn't protest.
No, and it's weird that they didn't.
Of course it isn't. It's a hell of a fucking curse.
What is?
Curse.
Or do you think they were joking when they said they could never turn down a bet?
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
You can just sense that from someone.
And Alecto kind of. That's why I don't like touching people. Curses are sticky.
I understand now.
Roshni, as the group of you leave, where do you stay tonight?
good question. How does Alecto feel about having a guest for the night?
I was just gonna say. I think Alecto, maybe as we're like at Ishmael's house or whatever, looks down at Roshni. Do you need someone to walk you home?
If you're offering, then yes.
Come on then.
After you.
Does Alecto know that Roshni doesn't live at a place?
I don't think Roshni has ever mentioned it. Nobody asked. Nobody has ever asked where their house is, and Roshni doesn't ever mention it. They're just kind of around.
So where do you just walk back to Alecto's?
Like, unless you've like spoken to Lillian specifically or Eleanor. Lillian or Eleanor are the two people that Roshni has like stayed over with since you've known them. So unless you've spoken to either of them and like it's been mentioned in conversation, like I don't think you know that they don't have a house.
Couch surfer.
Hold on. Do we all hear you offer to walk Roshni home? Lillian makes it up and continues on her way.
Just to be clear, Roshni is reading that question as like an invitation to stay at their house, because Roshni's like, yeah, like people know I don't have a house, obviously.
I think Alecto walks Roshni to the end of the street and is like, which way now?
And then because Roshni knows where Alecto's house is, I think they do just direct to the Cursemaker shop.
I think they eventually catch on. Alecto, I think. But they don't say anything about it. I think they, again, just lead Roshni to their, and they find their own shop door, which I think is now like, it's a window shape, like it's where a window should be. I think it's only like the size of a window, but it's a door, it's the same door. And Alecto like sighs. I fucking hate it when this happens. And they open it, you know? And it's so awkward to watch them climb through this tiny ass fucking window door.
I could make this bigger for you if you'd like. I can make this stop, probably.
Alecto's already halfway through, and they're like, thank you for the offer.
I think at that... Can I actually try to make this window bigger?
In the aspect of time, no.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Regardless what happens after the two of you enter Alecto's home, in the middle of the night, Roshni, you are kind of awoken by a poking at your cheek.
I wake up. Who is it?
You see a child. Like a little, like, dirty young boy just talking at you with big eyes and sharp teeth just poking at your face. Hey!
Oh God!
Are you a fiery person?
Yeah, you never come to see me when I'm at Eleanor's. Why are you here?
White hair lady, red dress. Message.
Yes?
She say got letter. Don't go through stuff again. House big mad. Hope you're okay. And then they kind of like pat your head. And then when you blink again, they disappear.
Yeah, I'll deal with that later. And I think Roshni just goes back to sleep.
Big mood.
Alecto stays up all night in their shop.
Okay.
By the way.
Okay. The last scene I would like to do, we will be going over a little bit, is with Lillian. Hello, Lillian.
No, it was. I need the Alecto Roshni gay panic.
Yeah, but also, how about Lillian lore and stuff? It's fine.
It's cool. It's fine. It's
Lillian
cool.
stuff. This occurs a morning after Roshni does not stay in the course of the upcoming week. As always, you have always take a lot of photos, develop photos, and you are in your darkroom again, developing, hanging, when you hear that voice again of Ilford. Hello again, little Lillian.
Hi. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing quite well, and yourself?
Actually decent, I think.
That's good to hear.
Kind of. I don't know.
Kind of.
I just wanted to come by and stop by and say that I did try to find your parents a little bit because I really wanted to talk to them, but went around their local haunts and unfortunately they were not there. But what are you going to do? So I'm just going to check in on you. see if you heard any updates or if you wanted to do anything. Maybe you can help me. I can help you.
Well, I still have not heard from them since
Unfortunate.
ever from my recollection. But what do you mean help you? How can I help you?
Kind of want to work. We had a deal going on with your parents and stuff like that, but obviously they can't do it anymore if I can't find them and I've got a job to do. So I was thinking we could scratch each other's backs.
And what would you need from me exactly?
Oh, it's super simple. You just gotta keep doing what you've been doing and taking pictures. And developing them, of course, yeah.
That seems simple enough.
And in return, I will help you figure out more about your family. Maybe I can look around Saturnine a little bit, talk to some people that I know, and things like that.
So forgive me. I know that most things of this nature involve contracts and negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly do you want photos of?
Oh, anything.
What are you looking for?
It honestly doesn't matter. It's more so like I'm trying to like find something, but I'm not sure exactly. You know when you're trying to find something and you're not 100% what you're looking for?
Well, I can help. Is it a person, a place, or a thing?
Yes.
All the three of those?
Maybe.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure it's a person.
You're looking for a person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. People. I'm not sure. But regardless.
Okay.
And maybe I can try and find you the local haunts or something like that. I'm going to disclaimer this super quick. It might take a little bit because I kind of travel by pictures and I kind of go into the pictures and I got to listen a little bit to actually find out where the locations are. And maybe I can get you some of those locations where they hung out and maybe help you a little bit and get more information.
I don't see the harm in that. I think that would work for both of us.
Beautiful. Can I see your camera for a minute? And they're probably like that person that I was talking about earlier that Alecto recognized, this Oliver Burns fellow. That's who they're talking through.
Yes. And I'll like just kind of scramble and pull up the camera in front of the picture.
Yeah. This demon, Ilford, reaches out through the photo that is currently drying. And while the hand that comes out is definitely five-fingered and humanoid, it does not look like a human hand. It does look like a human hand, but the skin and the color has the texture and color of a photo negative.
Okay.
And they hold out their hand for your camera.
So cool. That's so cool. Lillian will take a moment and hand the camera.
Okay. And then they bring it back in, and this photo of Oliver Burns looks at your camera and actually removes your lens and breaks it in their hand and lets go. And then kind of fuddles around in like a jacket and long lines and puts in a new lens, which has a blue tint to it. And then reaches out through the photo and hands it out to you.
She'll take it, do like that thing all photographers do the second they pull their camera out of a bag, like check the lens fit, check the thing, look through it.
It's a perfect fit. Yeah.
What does this lens do anything differently?
Yeah, it's going to help me see and find what I'm looking for.
Okay. That seems logical.
But I'm going to go and try and make good on my deal. And you just keep taking pictures.
I can do that. Thank you for your help. I hope that this will be a great partnership between us.
It is lovely to see you again, little Lillian. I will see you soon. And the photo of Oliver Burns settles. The last and final thing that I will mention is that between now and the next session is that all of you at some point notice that the arch that leads out into the hollows is actually guarded, and you would all hear rumors of violence and fighting and demons attacking areas in the hollows. Humans and other Vizsla and people. It's not exclusive, but so much so that people are putting defenses on the far town side arch. And that's where we'll leave off with the third session. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for session 3 of The Soul's Confidant. I was your Game Master, Mare. What we're going to quickly do is we are going to go around, as always, and say who we are, where you can find us, plug ourselves, as well as say, do we think we advanced our arc, as well as whether we get a joy or despair for the session. So who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Valiant, also known as Otso Spirit Bear. I stream regularly on Twitch. I'm a variety Twitch streamer. I'm also a TTRPG performer and GM. I'm in another game on Wednesdays called Adventures in Asteri at 7 p.m. Eastern. Come and check us out then. I play D&D on that day. It's great. And you can find me at twitch.tv/AutoSpiritBear or Twitter at Valiant. In terms of Ishmael today, I think he got a joy today.
I'm so proud.
I'm
happy.
I think today's a joyous day for Ishmael. I think Ishmael has reached a point with Alecto that he is comfortable with and learned a lot more things instead of feeling overwhelmed. So that is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In terms of advancing his character arc, I think so. I'm gonna look to GM for confirmation because I think I just did.
Yes.
So yes.
Popcorn. Who's next? Val is next.
I'll go next.
Do I choose one? Okay.
Okay, cool.
Hi, I'm April. You can find me everywhere as April Raygun. This week, both of my other shows are on break this week, but usually check me out on Tuesdays playing Demigods. We're gods of Percy Jackson land kids, and then on Fridays, Magic Girl D&D. But this week, we're taking a break. But for today's session, I definitely think, my storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I figured stuff out. We know more.
You know more.
And I'm gonna also say joy.
Okay.
So far, everything is kind of working out for us, and I now have a bestie demon friend who gave me a camera upgrade. So, like, what's the worst that could happen?
Oh, I don't know. What's the worst that could happen? Making a deal with a demon? I don't know.
I don't know, but when Ishmael finds out, they're gonna have some words.
Yes, they are. Hamnah or C?
I can go. Hello everybody, my name is Hamnah. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer. You can find me on Twitter at hshahid_, that's HSHAHID_, where I talk about all of the different projects I'm a part of. The one that's coming up most recently to today is on Saturday at I think 7 p.m. Eastern time, don't quote me on that. I am going to be on Utopia's channel playing a one-shot of Thirsty Space Lesbians, so that'll be fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so come join and see that. Today's episode, okay, so I definitely advanced my arc.
Oh, you did.
Absolutely. There's no question about that. I think in terms of joy and despair, it could go either way, but I'm gonna make an argument for joy.
Okay. Sure. I'm curious about this argument. I'm gonna give it to you regardless, but like I wanted to hear your reasoning.
Do you want me to say it right now?
Oh, you don't have to tell me now. You can tell me later. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
You have to tell her right. You have to tell them right now.
Only if you want
Stuff
to.
happened. Stuff happened and it was good.
Okay. And last but not least, C.
Hey y'all, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I am a dancer, digital artist, tabletop streamer. You can find me making very gay, very trans art on the internet when I am not full of art block, which I am right now, but that's fine. Check me out at PieSharpArt to just get to know me. I am also a main cast member on Transplanar RPG, which is an all transgender person of color led 100% homebrew D&D 5th edition actual play live stream. And if you are interested in things like that, I would tune into a very special announcement on December 1st. Just saying.
Hi.
I would if I were you. By the way. So if you're interested, also follow Transplanar RPG. What else? I do believe that Alecto, I think that they advanced their arc a little bit today.
Mhm.
I think they did. And I think they get a joy for kicking Roshni's ex's ass in a game that they were probably not going to win. So I'm going to take a joy for that. Funny, Alecto has gotten so much joy, actually.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to do a quick plug for Alex, who could not make it tonight, but you can follow them on, not that one, that's their old one, Phoenix Axolotl. They're not currently in any other games right now because, in their own words, they are a degenerate college student. And I am Mare. You can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice. This is currently my only streamed campaign right now, so every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Friends Who Roll Dice. That's all I got, I think. So everybody, we will see you next week for more drama, more gay, more intrigue, and probably more questions than answers, because that's a theme in all Invisible Sun games. So take care of yourselves. I love you, and we will see you next time. Bye!